Jubilees 10. This is verses 19 and 21. For they departed from the land of Ararat eastward to Shinar, for in his days they built the city and the tower, saying, Go to, let us ascend thereby into heaven. And they built it. 40 and 3 years were they building it. Its breadth was 203 bricks, and the height of a brick was the third of one. Its height amounted to 5,433 cubits and 2 palms, and the extent of one wall was 13 stades, and the other was 30 stades. But 5,433 cubits and 2 palms. I wonder how tall that is if we were to try to apply some math here to the ancient measurements.
Yay, some maths.
Quick math.
Quick maths.
A cubit, I want to say, was
from your tip of your finger to your elbow is approximately 18 inches, but the Egyptian royal cubit was anywhere from up to 25 inches.
Yeah, depends. They might have used a giant cubit or a
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or just a bigger man at that point in time. Nonetheless, this would amount to approximately around 8,150 feet tall, or 1.54 miles tall. So just for some comparison here, to be able to contrast some of the other world's tallest buildings that currently exist in modern times, Burj Khalifa is only 2,722 feet. Shanghai Tower, 2,073 feet. The One World Trade Center, which replaced the World Trade Center's towers 1 and 2, it's less than 2,000 feet. Sears Tower, less than 2,000 feet as well. So Tower of Babel would have dwarfed all of these by 4 times as high.
Yeah.
That's a massive,
truly
massive
a feat. And it would make a lot of sense if there were giants around, like the Bible talks about, that helped them build something like this.
Just a big old eyesore of a middle finger to God.
Right.
Under the reign of Nimrod.
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa, pretty sure it's still the tallest building in the world as of now. I think they're working on some other ones, but that's a half a mile tall. So bro, the Tower of Babel was crazy big. Now that Burj Khalifa, I'm pretty sure they built in like 5 years, but Tower of Babel, according to Jubilees, they had 42, 43 years to work on this thing. So that's a lot of time. And to me, the base of it itself would have to be so massive. Now, a lot of people like to talk about how you can't build something that tall because you don't have the materials needed to build something that big that could support the structure of its weight, is what an engineer will try to claim. But they're literally planning on building something a third taller than the Burj Khalifa, and it's already funded and in production and ready to be. They got the ground dug up and everything, so they think it's possible to build something as tall as 2 miles tall in modern engineering. So some of these older last generation claims from engineers claiming the Tower of Babel is impractical, can never be that tall. Modern engineers are saying, yeah, just hold my beer and watch us. We're about to build something. We're going to try to build something just as tall. And because they do know it's possible, you just have to have, more sound engineering training.
And the bigger the base, the taller you can build up. And there's some other ancient Jewish writings that say that it took how many days to walk around the base of the tower? I want to say 3 days, maybe more.
Yeah. 3 days. Yeah. Like approximately 20 miles in circumference, but 3 days. And so if that's true, that's if that's
big
true,
base. Right.
It's massive, guys. Yeah.
Like I said, this was under the reign of Nimrod during the days of his kingdom of Babylon. Jubilees 10:22 says, And the Lord our God said to us, Behold, they are one people, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be withheld from them. Go to, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, and they may be dispersed into cities and nations. Because isn't that what he wanted them to do? He kept telling them to, and they didn't. But he made it so that they would. And one purpose will no longer abide with them until the day of judgment. That's an interesting, we don't get that in Genesis, that little end piece, this last statement here, that one purpose will no longer, they won't all be able to come together for the same purpose until the day of judgment. So does that mean that they will eventually?
Just for that day.
Just for the day of judgment, the day of the Lord.
Yeah, and technically not all the nations, but the dominant ones that are under the authority of the beast, the 10 kings who give their authority to the beast for the hour to come to Armageddon for the battle. They will, but it won't technically be all nations. But the idea of the beast reigning over the nations in oppression and drawing on what I would believe to be the 10 kings he's appointed over certain regions, which would include multiple nations within them. Their armies, their leaders are going to come together for a single purpose to fight Yeshua. But that's pretty amazing that like the whole purpose of the UN is just literally smokescreen, because the Father says, ain't going to happen, guys. You're not going to come together for all. That's why all nations are not a part of the UN. And that's why they never technically will be. And even when the beast comes out of the pit and tries to force them to be.
Yeah.
It's only the very, very end. And then the moment they do, it's Yeshua time. It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
They come down and get confounded again, but not just their languages next time, huh?
Yeah. Their atoms get confounded into the dirt forever. Amazing.
That's right. Well said. Like you said, the United Nations, they're trying to go for a one world order. Thank you. There it is. The goal of the one world order. They want to have a one world government, a one world leader, a one world religion, and a one world currency. And so they begin, you see a lot of this matched up in Revelation 13. I'm not going to read through them all right now, but that's what the goal of the beast is. He wants to try to have everybody subject to his authority again. Like he did in the days of Tower of Babel. Same guy, same mind to go against God in the same way.
There's always some dude trying to relive his glory days.
That's right. He's in a mid-Sheol crisis. Huh?
Yeah. It's like Al Bundy. He's just like, I was a running back. I was a state champion running back. Yeah, it's
never again.
No, never again. He's never going to have the same authority, prestige, power, and prominence that he had in the Tower of Babel. It's all vain. Why do the nations rage in vain? It's all vanity.